Hello, my name is Mike, and today I'm going to show you how to automatically add a new Windows Firewall rule when a DoS or phishing attack is detected with Cornerbowl Server Manager. This tutorial builds on top of Part 5, how to detect and resolve DoS and phishing attacks on an IIS web server. If you haven't already watched Parts 1 through 5, please watch those tutorials first. That way you can follow along while I modify our previously configured IIS log monitor to add firewall rules to the Windows Firewall rather than IIS IP address restriction rules to the IIS web server. The latest version of Cornerbowl Server Manager now includes a pre-built PowerShell action that executes the Net Security module's new Net Firewall Rule command with a dynamic parameter value that applies the attacking IP address to the command line parameters. From the Explorer view, expand the Root Actions node, then Sample Actions, then Intrusion Prevention System. Once expanded, you will find two sample actions: Add Windows Firewall Rule and IIS IP Address Restriction. If you do not see both of these or the group is missing, from the menu bar, select Tools, Create Default Objects. Once selected, the group and actions are automatically created for you. In Part 5, we assigned the IIS IP address restriction action to our IIS log monitor. In this video, I'm going to show you the new PowerShell action that adds the new firewall rules. Right-click on the Add Windows Firewall Rule, then select Properties. From the Action Properties view, you will find the controls necessary to call any PowerShell module's available commands. First, notice the Windows Server or Workstation checkbox and corresponding host selection dropdown. When left blank, the action is applied to the managed machine. Otherwise, the action is applied to the selected host. In most cases, you will leave the checkbox unchecked. The exception to this rule is when you are testing the action. To test this against a specific host, the host must have the agent installed. Next, the Type dropdown enables you to either configure command execution or script execution. When the command type is selected, we have the option to select the target module, and then once selected, the target command. Notice when we select a different module, the corresponding command auto-populates. Also notice the help buttons to the right of the module and command dropdowns. When clicked, the corresponding Microsoft PowerShell help documentation is automatically displayed in your browser. Selecting the Parameters dropdown reveals the selected command's available parameters. Notice some of the configured parameters have text boxes while others have dropdowns. Enum parameter types, such as direction and action, provide the available enumeration values in each dropdown. For example, direction is either inbound or outbound. Action, not configured, allow, or block. For simplicity, the available values are programmatically extracted from PowerShell. Notice the display name and remote address fields include the C-IP variable placeholder. When this action is applied to our IIS log monitor, the variable placeholder is replaced with the attacking client IP address that is extracted from the C-IP column. The result gives the rule a unique name and applies the IP-specific rule to the Windows firewall. If I try to test this action, we can immediately see the command returns an error. That's because the IP address is not properly formatted. To test this action, replace the remote address value with a properly formatted IP address. For example, opening the local Windows firewall reveals our newly added rule. Okay, now that I've shown you the new PowerShell action and how we utilize it to programmatically add Windows Firewall rules, let's see it in action. First, we need to update our previous monitor. From the Explorer view, navigate to your IIS web server, then find the monitor listed under the template's child node. Right-click and select Template Properties. Select the Monitor tab. Find your column frequency rule that you previously created, then click on the Edit button. Remove the previously assigned IIS IP restriction action and replace it with our new action. Then click OK. Now in my case, and this is likely more typical in the real world as well, your IIS web server is on another machine. To run PowerShell actions on a remote machine, the agent must be installed on the remote machine, then the IIS monitor configured as an agent-based template. In Part 5, we already configured the template to run on the agent. So if you've been following along, there's no need to update the template. Otherwise, to configure your template to use the agent, select the Agent tab, then check the Enabled option. Click Close, then when prompted, save your changes. Now open a browser, then navigate to a bogus page that will generate the 404 error and refresh the result error page enough times to trigger the monitor. Once triggered, open the Windows Firewall on your IIS web server and verify your IP address has been added to the firewall rules. Back in the browser, testing the same URL again reveals that our IP is blocked from the website at the firewall layer. In my case, I use a hardware firewall, so for demonstration purposes, I've added a local outbound rule that blocks my website. That's IPS with Windows Firewall Rules in Cornerbowl Server Manager.